Trigger warning. The views and opinions expressed in this video may contain sensitive topics, including but not limited to controversial behavior, bullying, and challenging societal norms. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, it's me. I would like to know how you could even think of going to Paris and not even think about discussing it with me. Huh? I think about you all the time. What's he doing? What's he thinking? But you know. Are you still there?
Yes.
It's an apology. We can make this work. We can do the phone sex. If things get really bad, then I'll move to Paris for a while and write a Sex in the City.
But you'd be moving to Paris for yourself, right? I mean, don't move for me.
Well, why would I move to Paris if it wasn't for you?
I don't want you to uproot your life and expect anything.
What the fuck?
You don't even care if I'm in your life.
Would you calm down?
No, you know what? I am so tired of calming down.
If I have to go to Paris, I have to go to Paris.
What happens to us next year when you decide you just have to go to Brazil?
This isn't about us. This is about
If this was all I was ever going to get out of Big, was it enough for me? Somewhere between sleep and waking, I got my answer.
Ah, damn it!
Oh, are you all right?
No! Oh my God.
What the hell was that?
You knocked me out of bed. You didn't even know I was here.
Well, I do now.
Where are you going?
sleep on the couch.
You just let me explain. This is about us getting closer and you getting so freaked out that you have to put an ocean between us.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Why is it so hard for you to factor me into your life in any real way?
I guess old habits die hard.
I can't do this anymore.
I understand.
Yeah, I bet you do. You said you loved me.
I fucking love you. I do.
Then why does it hurt so fucking much?
So guys, we're gonna do something a little differently today. I have a controversial take that some people are not going to like. I'm going to say that Carrie was treated like a black woman. Yes, I know that is a horrible thing to say, but I really hope that we can have an open discussion about this, because I really want us to dive deep on some of the ways in which black women have been devalued and demoralized in the context of some of our relationships and the way we are expected to behave and what we are expected to accept in a relationship. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my theory. Now, Carrie was considered to be lower class to Big. John James Preston, which we found out in the movie Sex in the City, was Big's real name. But throughout the series, all 6 seasons, she referred to him as Big.
Whoa. That was the night we stopped being a myth and started becoming real. I was seeing Big again. Unfortunately, my New York guy was still seeing other women.
Big was a big, rich stockbroker, and Carrie was some creative, frizzy-haired, hot piece of tail that Big enjoyed. However, she was not a part of upper society. She was not the upper echelon woman. Her to an upper class status financially, but she did not start there. I would go on to say someone like Miranda was upper class.
What can I say? I need a big dick.
When we talk about Charlotte, what's funny to me is even though Charlotte was ushered into upper class living, she married a very upwardly mobile man. She was pretty much a darling, a socialite. But I never got the feeling that she came from money. I got the feeling that she came from middle class and that her beauty and her poiseness propelled her to that upper class level. But anyway, so that is the first aspect of it. So big stockbroker, rich, upper echelon, Hamptons housing, and Carrie, a broke, struggling, artistic woman who holds her own but has poor money management skills, and she likes to hang out. She's a party girl, if you will, a fun time. Now, the next part of this is Big had no intentions on taking her seriously, in my opinion.
Or embarrassed or ashamed to be involved with me in any way. We can no longer see each other.
What are you talking about?
Won't introduce me to your friends. You bring me back to that restaurant where men take women they don't want to be seen with. You won't come out and meet my friends. You have me in a niche. Like I'm only a particular fragment of the kind of person you think that you should be dating.
Then he so kindly goes on to gaslight her right after that. But throughout the series, we see that she was right all along.
You should be dating.
But I've only gotten to know a particular fragment, although I'm beginning to know more.
No, this is not me. This is me reacting to your perception of me.
I think Feng Hua's is the best Chinese food in the city, so that's why we went there. The guy we met in the street, I couldn't remember his name. And this afternoon, I had courtside tickets to the Knicks.
This is called the crazy pussy theory. The male, because he is hardwired for conquest and domination, he receives a ton of pleasure and a sense of power from a woman basically going batshit crazy on him, breaking down and becoming dysregulated. And even though for the woman it's probably such a huge deal, for the man, even if he feels bad or whatever, the woman walks away and the man is thinking, wow, this chick is losing it. She must be really into me. So, Big, being who he was, knowing that he had no intentions on marrying her, he pretty much gaslit her, hoovered, abandoned, played Carrie so much she became unhinged at times. Because this woman had real feelings for him, while he just kind of saw her as a plaything. Now, she would be crashing out over Big's antics. She would be traumatized, essentially. Now, notice Big is the only one she ever really crashed out on. And maybe she had a few, tense moments with men throughout the series, but if you are a series watcher, you will notice that the one she consistently crashed out on was Big, because most of the time he was never really emotionally available and he just didn't get it. He just didn't get it, or he didn't want to get it. It had to be one or the other. He didn't want to get it. Now, she fucked a lot of dudes in the series, and I believe that the dudes that she was fucking that came after Big was just so that she could cope, because she wasn't over Big, and he was the one for her all along. She wasn't the one for him, but he was the one for her. Now, to me, I got this weird theory that's called virtual pimping.
Virtual pimping.
And let me explain what I mean by that. These men know that these women can't let them go and are super attached. And it gives them a sense of fulfillment and power. And for some reason, he will let this woman loose into the world, knowing that she's a broken, twisted up woman, and watch her smash guy after guy after guy after guy until he comes back and reclaims his property. The only one he was actually even ever threatened by was Aiden. And you see what he did to ruin them.
Ooh, he's a bigot. Where do you learn to will like that?
How many drinks have you had?
Not nearly enough.
Everything seems to be going pretty well between Carrie and Aiden until this shocking Season 3 episode. When they attend a furniture show, they run into Big and his wife, Natasha. Big gets drunk and belligerent, going so far as to tell Carrie that his marriage is over. As if that wasn't enough, he also asks her if she knows anyone who's interested.
It's not working. I'm getting out.
If you know anyone who's interested.
This scene is so cringeworthy, and she is obviously put off by his behavior. And yet, the episode ends with them lying in bed together, sharing a cigarette.
You, and I've missed you. And it's not just because you look so good, and you do, and you should know that. But I lie in bed at night, and I think about us, and I think about You holding me and...
You broke my heart! Carrie.
Psycho-spiritually, I call that a form of pimping. Let me know what you think in the comments. So, after Big played in her face for nearly a decade, watch her crash out several times, pop in and out of her life, got into other relationships, married a woman of his pedigree, ruined her relationship with Aiden, he finally settled for her. The unpolished, love-addicted, broken-hearted bottom bitch. But this was not after one last humiliation ritual by standing her up at the altar and then doing what? Winning her back over. Abandoned her and her mom at a young age. Carrie clearly had unresolved father issues as well. This is also why I'm tying it into black women. Still, over 72% of households are single parent homes. Obviously, the number is higher inside of black households, with mothers being the dominant parent. Now, that's not to say that fathers aren't out co-parenting, and I'm not placing the blame one way or the other. We're just talking about an absence of the presence of someone who you share DNA with. And to me, it appears that Carrie clearly had unresolved father issues as well. While this is harsh, while what I'm about to say is harsh, and I absolutely do not agree with this, but in the eyes of society, women of lower class are considered to be trash. They're considered to be servants, handmaids, bangmaids. They're to serve the needs and the interests of men, society, and children. They're there to be the maids, the mammies, the pickup girls, the cleanup girls. They're there to get the leftovers of men after they've been with the women that they really want, the women that they really want on their arms. I do not believe this is true. This is a byproduct of capitalism. This is a byproduct of classism, but it is something that is generally something that a woman should consider who come from a lower socioeconomic background, because you never really know what these people are thinking, right? You never really know what kind of twisted reality they're living in. So for some reason, they think this gives them the right to use your body and discard you at will. What turns the tide for a lot of these women in these positions is how desperate they behave and how long they stick around through humiliation and struggle rituals as some sort of dumb fuck rites of passage. And it propels these women to be seen as good enough. If you think of some of the more distasteful and disdainful things that are said in black manosphere towards black women, you will see that they generally relegate these women to sex, servitude, and devotion, not giving credence to any kind of personal agency, autonomy, or individualism that these women may possess, and only looking at them as a resource and someone to contribute to the often dysfunctional and sadly deteriorating black community. So they're there to be a resource. They're there to be something to help these men to propel themselves to the next level, but not necessarily preferred or wanted, which is a sad reality. Again, I do not agree with the sentiment. I am just observing it. So when I say that Carrie was treated like a black woman, I'm not talking about all black women, but I am saying that the sentiments around being fatherless and being from a lower class society and then having to endure and pretty much prove yourself as worthy of being marriage material and suffering public humiliation seems to be something that we see a lot with women of color, Black women, and women who come from lower socioeconomic backgrounds. We share a similar unfortunate cards that's being dealt. But it's not all doom and gloom. You can absolutely take your power back. I just want women to be aware of this particular phenomenon, for which is a byproduct of classism as well as capitalism. So that's all I have to say for today. Let me know what you think in the comments.